Train the muscles, not the joints. Welcome back to another Natural Gallant bodybuilding vlog. And today I'm going to talk to you about mind-muscle connection versus strength increases for a natural bodybuilder. Which one is more important for you to gain muscle and to gain strength, okay? Which is more important for you to get better as a natural bodybuilder? In the background here, I'm going to be training some chest, back, and biceps as well. And you'll see my brother pop in for a few sets, and you'll see that we have a little bit differences in technique. You know, sometimes I touch my chest, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do a little shallower range of motion, depending on the weight I'm using. That part wasn't necessary. But anyway, this is my brother. He's going to work in for a few sets with me here. You'll see here that his technique is a little bit different than mine, where he almost touches his chest with the bar, where I'm a little bit shallower, but that's because I dislocated my shoulder in hockey years and years ago. So any of you haters out there, that's kind of what happened. I can touch my chest. I can do over 23, 24 reps of touching my chest and up and down. So it's not like I can't do it. I just choose not to because I find the tension stays on my chest and I get more of a burn and more of a pump in there when I do this range of motion. So, you know, just bear this in mind. So here's my brother just pumping out reps at 225 quite easily. He just wants to pump some blood in the area today. He's not going heavier than this, but I'm going to go up to 275 and do the normal kind of thing. I've been sticking to 275 lately with the higher volume because I find it just feels like the right weight for me. The reason why is I can get about anywhere from 8 to 16 reps depending on the day and how I feel and how much shoulder pressing I did the day before. But I feel like it's a good sweet spot for the reps right now. So it's also good for me to increase the volume so I can safely increase volume without straining too hard. And I find it works really well. So getting back to the topic at hand, I was asked if mind-muscle connection is more important than strength for a natural bodybuilder. So for me, it's not really about either or, okay? When you have a mind-muscle connection or a connection to your body, you're actually feeling what's going on. You get more in tune of whether your nutrition is on point or not. You get more in tune of whether you're having good pain or bad pain. You get more in tune of whether, you know, some area of your body feels a little flat and you think that you need to work that range of motion or that exercise in order to hit that weak link at that time. You know, these are things that just naturally occur as you train over the years. You start to get more of a connection. So that would be the way I'm meaning mind-muscle connection, okay? I'm not meaning it about, you know, just holding on to super lightweight and squeezing the muscle and somehow that's going to gain you muscle mass, because in my experience, if you use super lightweight and that's all you do, I find it's pretty tough to put on muscle mass that way. Although I have seen some guys do it, okay? So again, it boils down to genetics, depends on your muscle fiber type, depends on how your body responds. Good job, good Jason. Again, I'm not gonna, you know, shit on anything. I mean, because different techniques do work for different people. But what I found for myself is that if I use too light a weight all the time, I don't necessarily put on muscle quite as easily, okay? And by lightweight, I mean something you can do easily with 50 or 60 reps all the time. Although I do incorporate that rep range from time to time, if I do it all the time, I find it's a little bit overkill on the lightweight. I think where the big misunderstanding happens is that a lot of people think that you have to be lifting in a rep range of 5 reps or 3 reps or 4 reps in order to gain strength. And that's just simply not true. For years, I stayed in the 10 rep range and I gained a tremendous amount of weight on my bench press. And then I changed to 8 reps and then 4 reps just to try that out for a bit. And sometimes when I was doing the 4 rep range, I would actually go down in strength because my body would get burned out or the tissue would get burned out or I would not recover properly. So it really just depends on how your body responds, because each person will have that certain sweet spot for reps. One person will respond really well in the 5 rep range, and then another person will respond by snapping something up. So this is really important for you to understand. This is where the relationship with the body video comes into play. When you have a relationship with your own body, you are honoring how it responds. It's like dancing, I guess. It's just like dancing. Your body is giving you a certain music. It's giving you a certain feedback. It's saying, hey, I'm gaining muscle right now, or hey, I'm losing muscle right now, or hey, my joints are killing me. It's saying this all the time, and then it's your job to compensate for that or make decisions based on that. You know, so you're listening to this environment all the time. You're listening to what's happening in the body and then making decisions. Now, do you have to get stronger only in the 5 rep range to gain muscle? No. I mean, if you're doing sets of 15 reps with 315, that's going to gain you muscle. It doesn't have to be 5 reps with 365, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes 15 reps will give you more muscle and take a little bit of the stress off the actual joints and connective tissue. And this might actually help you get more gains depending on your constitution and depending on how you're built.
One more set. So doing about 4 or 5 sets of bench, and then I'm going to do 3 or 4 sets of incline because I don't have much time tonight. And then I'll get on the back and then do some biceps, right?
Now, I think one of the big traps that people get stuck in is that they think bigger weight means bigger muscle. And I would say bigger weight with a certain rep range means bigger muscle, but sometimes you can overkill this. Sometimes if you're doing a set of 4 reps or 5 reps, you may be putting some stress on the muscle, but you might be putting an exponentially larger amount of stress on the joints depending on the situation and depending on your genetics, okay? And in that moment, 5 reps become more of a liability, or 4 reps become more of a liability than actually helping you make gains, okay? So you have to try to get stronger, but what rep range you get stronger in is up to you. And I think anything under a minute for a set is going to give you muscle mass gains in some way, shape, or form. Now, I'd prefer you vary it up. Sometimes you do a set that lasts 15 seconds, sometimes you do a set that lasts 30 seconds, sometimes you do a set that lasts 45 seconds, but there's nothing out there that says you have to do a set that only lasts 4 or 5 seconds, right? And I think a lot of people, they go a little bit too extreme in the heavy weight, and then they end up actually snapping something or injuring themselves and not necessarily getting results. A number of years ago, I was bench pressing a certain weight and I was only getting 4 reps, and I was just obsessed with getting more reps with this weight, and I kept on going back to the bench press and doing the same weight. And what I noticed was that I was actually getting weaker. It's almost like that pathway was getting overtrained. And the minute that I went down to a set of 225 for sets of 20 to 30 to 35 reps, then my bench press started going up in strength. You see, so it's not always about lifting the super heaviest weight possible. It's about lifting a weight that is challenging to the muscle, but not necessarily so challenging that you start snapping things up. You see, so there's a breaking point. There's a certain point to where you want to find that sweet spot, that happy medium that is enough stress to cause the body to adapt, but not so much stress that it causes it to get injured. And for each person, this will be different. And this is why you have to listen. If your body is showing you signs that there's a problem, then just adjust something, lower the weight or raise the weight. You know, if you're not getting any results from what you're doing, then maybe you need to challenge it more. Maybe you need to do some more strength training. Maybe you need to lift a little bit heavier weight, but always assess by feeling what's going on. And if you're getting some signs of injury, then adjust the rep range, adjust the angle, adjust the range of motion. But getting back to the mind-muscle connection sort of strategy, as far as just using lightweight and just doing super slow reps and just squeezing the muscle and just focusing, that can be a valid technique for hitting certain muscle fibers for sure. And some people respond very well to that. But again, you're going to have to find out which type of bodybuilder you are. You're going to have to find out, does that really work for you or not? Because in the end, say you're doing super slow reps and you're doing isometric contractions and you can get 15 reps with a certain weight, and then one day you do the exact same form, exact same reps, and now you can use a higher amount of weight. Guess what? You've increased in strength, so you will put on muscle mass that way too. So just conduct an experiment. Find out what kind of bodybuilder you are, and if you are the type of person that's snapping something up right now, guess what? You probably went too high in weight, too extreme in something, whether it's range of motion, whether it's frequency, or whether your diet and wasn't in check, or whether your sleep wasn't in check. Something was off. So that means you do need to make a change. Again, you overstimulated an area and you snap something, right? So this is all about stimulating just enough, but not overstimulating, because if you overstimulate, you may snap something. That's just the law of life, really. Too much, too overkill, you just can't overkill the body, because if you overkill the body, you kill the body. It's really quite literal, actually. Don't overkill the body. So if you find that one rep range is injuring you, perhaps it's time to just focus on other rep ranges besides that one. If you're doing 4 or 5 reps, 6 reps on the bench because you want to be lifting that heavy weight all the time, I've seen some guys just not respond very well to that. They either get injured or their strength starts to plateau, but then as soon as you put them on the 10 rep range or the 12 rep range, all of a sudden results start coming. So other people, it might be the opposite. Some people, you put them on a little bit medium reps or higher reps and they don't really respond that well. Then you put them on the heavy weight, then they respond. So it's a matter of what your body needs in that moment. It's not always about what's better. It's more about what you need in that moment. And sometimes you need heavy weight, sometimes you need lighter weight, sometimes you need some higher reps, and sometimes you need lower reps. And the more open you are the more you let your body guide you through your workout, instead of you imposing an idealism upon it, you start to become open to this conversation between you and the body, and then from there you can respond, right? You don't scratch an itch unless you're itchy, right? When you're itchy, you scratch an itch. You're doing this all the time. When you get hungry, you eat. When you're tired, you sleep. Well, it's the same thing with the training. As you train, your body will speak to you. And if you're snapping something up, it's speaking to you quite loudly. It's saying, hey, this something you're doing is not working. Don't do that anymore, right? So you can see it's really a blend between the two: awareness of the body and mind-muscle connection, and gaining in strength. The awareness will show you what is the appropriate rep range at that time. You know, obviously you're not going to walk into the gym with 2 broken legs and a lot of pain and then say, I'm going to squat 700 pounds, right? This is a certain level of awareness. And as your awareness expands, you'll become aware of more and more different types of subtleties or stimulus in the body and make decisions based on that awareness. Okay, so that's really where the mind-muscle connection comes in. And then from there, you can decide on different rep ranges or ranges of motion or training programs and get stronger with whatever it is that you are involved in. You know, you're progressing. So say you could do 20 sets of a certain exercise with 50 reps. All of a sudden now you can do 21 sets. That's a way of increasing volume. Or you can just do 10 sets of a certain rep range, and then all of a sudden your reps go up for that same weight. You know, these are all ways of progression. Sometimes you can use 10 reps with 35-pound dumbbells, and then the next day you can do 20 reps with it. You know, this is just, you know, a general example. You get my point. Gaining in strength, gaining endurance, gaining in volume, all these things are ways of gaining, and these are all different types of stimulus that increase muscle mass. So using your awareness will tell you which one is the weak link at this time and which one is the one that you should address in order to make gains. But it's not just about just sticking in the 4 rep range and saying, how do I get more weight on the bar for 4 reps? So here's a better shot of what I look like right now, so you guys can get an idea of where my diet's at and all that kind of stuff, my nutrition program. And thanks a lot for watching, and make sure you share my stuff. That's right, share the stuff if you like it. Yeah, share it. Okay, thanks a lot for watching anyway, guys. And if you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com and take care for now.